Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes. And so they said to him, well, what about God? And he said, she is black.
Ashe, peace and benedictions. You ever wonder why all the bad guys wear purple?
Tiger uppercut!
Facebook jail, you know what I mean? And physical jail is the logo, you know what I mean? Scan and subscribe if you haven't already. But we'll talk a little bit about color code symbology. So I got my stones right here. I'm on my Thanos shit, you know what I mean? But why purple?
Cana Phoenicia.
Why is the boathouse
Saturnalia.
lights in purple? Because we're in the house of Sagittarius. In the 12th house that ends the year. Yes, ends the year, ends the sun cycle. Because on the 21st, the sun stops moving. The sun gets to the lowest point in the atmosphere, or in the galaxy, in the universe, in the Yoniverse, on the southern crux, the rose crux. That's another story. Drop me a like if you like my mud cloth trench, you know what I mean? Because I'm in the trenches, literally. So, talk a little bit about color code symbology and Thanos. So, when I got out of jail on 11/27, a Thanos hoodie arrived at my house. Fitting for Sagittarius season. See, Thanos is Cronus. Cronus is Saturnel. Saturnel is Sagittarius, the 12th house. The Grim Reaper. The Father Time. Because Cronus, the Titan god, was said to eat his children. That's why Thanos was from the planet Titan. The moon Titan that orbits Saturn. That's why we had to get 6 stones, even though it's
ring,
more than 6
6
stones.
rings of Saturn.
Bag right here. You know what I mean? To snap the universe away, snap the ignorance away, snap the negative energy away. You know what I mean? Make sure you get your shungite. Make sure you get your germanium. You know, for this impending 5G shit. It's gonna fuck with the air. It's gonna fuck with the air you breathe. You know what I mean? I pulled a card that said I needed to get some oxygen. So I figured I'd give me some fresh air and some germanium. You know, for this 5G shit that fucks with the hemoglobin in your blood, your body's ability to transfer oxygen in the blood, into your blood. You know what I mean? That's what this 5G Wi-Fi shit is gonna start fucking up. But anyway, color code symbology, like in the microcosm of the day, is the macrocosm of the year. The microcosm, when the sun sets, the sky starts to turn purple and orange. And orange is a warning sign. Just like I did the video about Orange Judas. Go check that out, my YouTube channel, my new YouTube channel, that they banned, you know. But we still keep pushing forward, you know what I mean, despite all of the craziness going on, you know what I mean. But purple means death and danger. That's why Thanos was obsessed with death, you know what I mean. In the comic books, he courted death, literally. That in Infinity Wars 2, the Endgame. You know what I mean? Because we're in the age of Osiris, the age of Ansem, the age of awakening. You know what I mean? The information age, whatever you want to call it. So, get your chi up, get yourself ready for this winter solstice, when the sun stands still. You know what I mean? When the Sagittarius house wraps up the sun cycle for the year. You know what I mean? So, during this time coming up, should be doing a whole lot of meditating. You know what I mean? Get some qigong in. If you don't know what that is, you know, go research it. You know what I mean? Get your body right. You know, do the opposite of what they want you to do these holiday seasons, these holy day seasons. See, a holiday is a holy day. You know what I mean? So when they fix you to go get drunk and go get blasted out your mind and, you know, focus all your energy on material gifts, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be making positive affirmations for the next year, for the upcoming year. After the sun moves back to the earth 1 degree every day on December 25th. You know what I mean? Joy to the world. The Lord has brought His only begotten Son. The Son that's up in the air. Not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. You know what I mean? So, new color code symbology. That's why the lighthouse is purple. That's why I'm wearing purple. You know what I mean? Because I'm Sagittarius. I'm Saturnel. I'm Thanos in the 12th house. While the sun's in my house. And we got all these stones. Purify my energy. Make sure my speech is right. So, I got a couple things to talk about. You know what I mean? Just like, we got some work to do, family. Like, we be hearing about crazy shit like, nut shit like people in Starbucks getting kicked out for not using the bathroom. But through my little stints in jail and court cases and all this shit, I came across people who've been railroaded by the system and their stories never made the news. So I'm gonna talk about a couple of them tonight. For instance, it's a sister who I met up in court in Jersey, who she said that the police unlawfully took her children away from her. And once the courts overturned that verdict and her kids was restored back to her, one of them was dead. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? But one of her children had passed away. You ain't hear about that on the news. And, you know what I mean? There wasn't no protest. There wasn't no march for that. There wasn't no reform for that. So, you know, we need a lot of justice reform. You know what I mean? I met a brother who got locked up who said the police pulled him over because he looked like he shouldn't have a car. Young brother with a Lexus. They say he looked like he couldn't afford the car. They locked him up for a warrant for a bag of weed in 2004 or some shit like that. You know what I mean? 3 days in maximum security prison. Intake with felons from upstate. You know what I mean? Which is illegal, by the way. You know what I mean? George Hill, Delaware County. You know what I mean? Railroad people. Well, I was in there for 3 days. They killed somebody. Beat up a pregnant lady. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of fuck shit going on. Shout out to Malcolm Jenkins for trying to bring some justice reform. You know, anybody who have an issue with the law, I would say, holla at Larry Krasner office. And tell them about, you know, the shit that's going on in your community. What's going on with these police. You know what I mean? Because it's about that time. You know, I gotta go to court like 3 more times coming up. Spank these cases, you know what I mean? Because they unjust, you know? And I'll talk more about that in another video. But brothers and sisters, stay on your toes, stay sharp, because they know you're getting that information. They know this your time, so, you know, they trying to fuck with you any way they can. You know what I mean? Myself included. I think I know a little bit about that right now. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Color code symbology. Thanos, purple and gold. Colors of Saturnel. Colors of Sagittarius. Colors of the 12th house. You know what I mean? Because Saturnel, just like Santa Claus, Saturnalian on Saturday. You know what I mean? Too much sauce. But he eats his children. That's why Santa had a big belly. You know what I mean? Child sacrifice was a big thing back in ancient times. Just like people would take their children to go sit on the lap of Moloch. Just like the mall Santa. But Moloch was was a burning bull. Burning bullshit. Burning up your kids, you know what I mean, for child sacrifice. Because people would, sacrifice their kids for faith and good fortune, And in some sense, we sacrifice our kids to death, you know what I mean, with material gifts and all this fuck shit, you know what I mean, getting them into materialism instead of spiritualism, you know what I mean. So during this time, like I said, from now to about 3 Kings Day, you know what I mean? Another holiday, you know what I mean? January 6th, you know what I mean? You should be purging yourself, cleansing yourself, abstaining from negative activities, ignorance, and being too inebriated, you know what I mean? Get your meditation up, you know what I mean? Positive affirmations for the upcoming year, for healing, for being a better person. That's what time we're supposed to be on right now. Not getting drunk out our mind. Not worried about the new iPhone. Not worried about the new Samsung. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been quiet for a little bit. Building up my chi, doing my research, making a better me. You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes just hop on the camera and just make clickbait, but they're not really doing shit. I'm in the community. I'm out with the homeless, feeding the homeless. Building with different organizations. Anybody who's looking to do some positive work, hit me up. You know what I mean? So, got Facebook, inbox, all that. You know what I mean? But sign off. Let's link up. Let's work together. I shape this into the dictionary. The cold symbology. Purple. Satin now.
Kill shit. You can call me Thanos Ghost. Underground. Gotta keep the man deal. I ain't